Okay, so picking up where we left off. So in the last video, I had shown the application that we could ask questions. I had asked also to make a version in Portuguese, so it made this index underline PT HTML, and it has the same test in Portuguese: esquerda, direita, left, right, and it has the same questions, and you can follow through all the way. I'm skipping all the questions until you get a result. So it works. Now, how do I get this somehow published online so that I can actually use it on my phone, right? Let's talk about GitHub. So GitHub is a website that you can, I guess, store Git repositories. And a Git repository is a way to store files that change over time, right? And this is useful when you have a software project that you need to track every change that is made to the code base, to that code, right? And we do have some code now, right? These HTML files that implement all those questions, right, are code. It's interpreted by the browser here, and we can upload these files to GitHub, and it will store those files for us in there. But when you have HTML files here that can be seen in a nice visualization in the browser, GitHub can also publish those files in that way using GitHub pages, right? So here I can go to GitHub. I already have an account here. So my username is called Tony Lampada. There's a bunch of repositories in here. So 138 repositories, right? And GitHub has a CLI, a command line interface, which is a way to use GitHub from the terminal here. So I'm going to open another terminal window. I have the window with Claude Code running here, and I have a new window here, and I'm going to say GH, which is the CLI for GitHub that I have already installed in here, but I was just asking Claude Code if it could use my GitHub CLI, but it's not authenticated. It's not connected to my account. So I'm going to do that right now. So I do that with auth login. So I'm going to do that right now. Auth login. So I'm going to authenticate with GitHub, use SSH. This is blah, blah, what key? This is the key. Okay, login with a web browser. This is one-time code. Continue. And I'm going to need this one-time code from here. And it's a one-time, so when you're watching this video, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Authorize GitHub. It needs a one-time password, which is already typed. So this is authenticated. Okay, so try again. Can you talk to my GitHub account?
You're logged in as Tony Lampada. Want me to create a repo and publish to GitHub pages?
So looks like it already knows what we want to do, right? Yes and no, because we created a folder that has all these files in here, right? And the only thing that I'm interested in publishing are really only these HTML files, and I might want to add more tests in there. So I'm gonna say yes and no. I don't want you to publish a repository with the exact structure that we have here. So instead, can you please create a public repository called my little tests, right? And so what are we going to call this? So this is a what? Brain balance assessment. Sounds like a good name. And then inside of it, let's create a folder called and then inside of that, we put only the HTML files. And let's make sure that that gets published on GitHub pages. So can you help me with that? And we'll see.
Got it. Creating the Lilo tests repo with the brain balance folder. Let's do this.
See here, it's calling gh repo create blah blah blah, right? So I have the tool installed here. I honestly don't remember all the correct incantations to create a repository from the command line, but Claude does, right? So all I need is for it to have access to the tool. So a really good way to make those things more powerful is to give them CLIs, right? To give them command line interface, to give them software that it can use from the terminal and it can do stuff, right? That is very powerful. Okay, so what is this trying to do? It's creating a temp folder, copying the index files in there, and then adding to Git. And yeah, so this looks good. So now it's going to try to enable GitHub pages. Sure.
All done. Your pages are live on GitHub pages. Give it a minute to deploy.
Okay, so the repository should be called tonylampada/melilo-tests. So if we go here, github.com/tonylampada/ oops, it's tonylampada twice, melilo-tests. So we have the two files in here inside that folder, right? And whenever we get something published with GitHub pages, we have these things on actions here, but I'm not seeing it like I usually see it. So this might not work. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Okay, so there's some GitHub stuff. Maybe we need to enable GitHub pages manually for this repository. So settings, pages, found it, it's here. So here in the settings, pages, GitHub source, we wanted to deploy from a branch, and then we tell it to deploy from the main branch, which is, well, this is Git stuff, right? So there's a branch called main, and we just deploy it from there, which is where we are uploading those files. So yeah, I guess it's already saved. Maybe it will work now. Not yet. I think because it needs another nudge, which we can do by just making any kind of change in the file. So I'm gonna add an empty line here that it's has no effect, but it will, I guess, trigger the thing that makes GitHub aware there's this new stuff in there. See, this is what I wanted to see in the actions. So it's processing the HTML files, and when this is done, we will get our thing deployed, right, on a link that we can share and hopefully open from our phone. So let's see. Cool. So now we have, this is the repo, this is the English link, and the Portuguese link. Let me open the Portuguese one. Nice, Tony, let's go. Okay, and how about I copy this and paste it here. Is this going to work? Yes. Right? Tony, add start. And here we go. And there we have it. We went from a bunch of pictures from a book, right? Oh boy. To their text versions, to a simple web application that does the test, computes the answers, and give you a result without having to know the details, the coding that make this work, right? Which is pretty awesome. I hope you liked this video. I hope you find it useful. If you did, please give a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.